and welcome to Connected episode 379. It's a big one today, folks. It is made possible by our sponsors, Electric, Indeed, and Squarespace. My name is Stephen Hackett, and I'm joined as always by Mr. Mike Hurley.
Hello! Happy New Year!
Happy New Year. Can you say that in Romanian?
No! Would you like me to say Merry Christmas? Crăciun fericit, but that's not what you want at all. Let me Google it. Happy New Year in Romanian.
While you're doing that,
I can do it right now.
Federico.
Anun fericit.
Oh.
You should have gotten the Happy New Year in-app purchase in Duolingo. You only got the Christmas one.
Duolingo Romanian, when I did it, was really bad. It just didn't teach me anything of any use. I did it for ages, and it was just like I learned how to say rice and boy. And like it was just like, this is no good.
I mean, you can get pretty far with those two
if
words.
I'm in a restaurant, boy, rice. That's all I can do. Just eat rice a lot.
Federico, Happy New Year, buddy.
Hello, Happy New Year to you as well. Hi.
So this is a very important episode. We will be judging the Rickies, the annual Rickies from 2021. So we'll be naming potentially a new annual chairman. We'll get to all of that later. And then after that, we're going to make our picks for 2022. So we've been hard at work on this for a couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But we have just a tiny little bit of follow-up.
A smidgen.
A smidge.
A follow-up.
It's not even like a smudge. It's like half a smudge.
Smudge.
Smidge.
A smudge.
It's a smudge.
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 Okay.
So we have some smullo-up. And,
no, wouldn't it be like
some smell-up?
Is half a follow-up? Follow.
Some follow.
This is bad. We did our annual year in review, and that's always fun. But I realized while editing it that they also need a name.
Okay, so I was thinking this while we were recording. I don't think they needed a name before.
Oh, come on.
No, hold on. I didn't come up with a name. There was just a part in the recording where I was like, should we name this? And then I just let it go. And the reason was because we turned it into a game. That was why. Previously, it wasn't a game, but then we made it into a game.
Yes. And ultimately, everything the three of us do turns into a game.
Turns into a game.
So I have some, I have one suggestion. I suggest that we call it the Annies.
Yeah, and it's the perfect suggestion. You made one suggestion. It was the correct suggestion. Nobody will contest it.
Because we were putting things on the Teachy scale, which I think is a great way to keep the Teachy scale alive and to do the Annies, I kind of think we have to come up with some rules about how we score things.
Why do we need rules?
Can we just follow our instincts?
Yeah, can't that be there's only one rule of the Annies? Follow your heart?
That doesn't sound like us.
So do you want to have a rule for when something is nightmare?
I feel like that's the one thing we need to talk about because
we
didn't award a nightmare.
We should mirror that Supreme Court decision and saying that nightmare,
you know when you see it.
You know it when you see it.
See it? Okay.
But that's how I feel too.
Okay.
Like there wasn't a nightmare month, but like for example, March 2020, nightmare, right? That was nightmare.
Yeah, that's nightmare. Yes.
But I don't know what the next nightmare might be, so I don't feel like I want to put a rule around it.
I kind of feel like I'm living it right now. Okay. That works for me. I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
You started this. I don't know why this is a problem for you. I think it's nightmare is a possible thing, but it's not going to happen very much, you know?
It just so happened that there wasn't one in 2021. If things are going the way that they are, there will be at least a couple in 2022. So I think we'll use it
sparingly,
unless you want to completely bell curve every year, which is also a possibility. Like there has to be at least one nightmare, and there has to be one best I love you of every year.
No, I kind of like that. You know it when you see it.
But we still, it's still going to be a bell curve type thing, right? There's always going to be more in the middle. Here's my question. Do you think you will remember next year that it's called the Annies? Do you think you will remember this?
I put it in the Google Doc, so we'll remember.
Make sure to also save that nightmare is on a you know it when you see it basis.
Yes.
Where in... Oh, there it is. The bottom... So, listeners, you don't get this, but the bottom of our Google Doc is just full of so much, like, stuff now because of all of the...
Junk.
I didn't want to say junk, you know?
It's not junk. It's rules. It's links to things we need sometimes. It is the topic graveyard, which is the best.
That's the junk.
Completed roasts.
Oh, that's all good stuff.
You know what this should be? A Notion document. I'm just saying.
Oh my god.
it's ripe for the
database disruption.
Yep.
I would like to just lodge a complaint with Jeremy Budge.
Oh.
Ooh.
If that's okay. So Jeremy announced today that he is going to be stepping away from Emojipedia, which was something I just naturally assumed was going to happen after Emojipedia was acquired. But they didn't. This wasn't a thing he announced at the time. And the person who's coming in to replace him is Keith Brony, and I am annoyed that we didn't get to potentially call it the Bronies at the time when we decided we were definitely calling it the Jeremys. And so I feel like he's robbed me of that moment of being able to suggest that we renamed the Jeremys to the Bronies. And so that is my complaint lodged with Jeremy Budge, previously of Emojipedia, now of just Jeremy Budge.
We can't call them the Bronies if we want.
We can't call it the Bronies.
Well, I know why. That's the joke, right? Because the Bronies are already a thing, and I think it would be hilarious to have posited it and maybe even created a fake one just for that one time.
Or
we've been robbed.
Maybe we could reach the wide Brony.
We could have. See, we could have had a new area to attack, but we haven't.
Yeah, but are you also just like appropriating their culture?
We'd spell it differently, so like. It would sound like it, but it wouldn't be spelt the same. And so then we're not taking it away or even trying to pretend that we're good at it.
Yeah, it wouldn't be cultural appropriation for the Brony community.
Because we have tried our best to obfuscate it in spelling. So there you go. That my complaint has been lodged, and just to confirm for anybody wondering, it will continue to be called the Jeremys forever.
Yes.
Jeremy of the Jeremys now, I guess. So it's Jeremy Budge of the Jeremys.
We should do the artwork. Well, we're still like the first time we do it. It's still called the Jeremys, but there's like in memoriam
of Jeremy. He's still very much alive.
Yeah, he's alive, but like digitally speaking, he has exited the connected multiverse.
It's interesting because I was thinking that we could kind of turn him into our Jeff Keighley, as like all that Jeremy's about is an awards show, and that's all he's about. Like 100% of his time, it's all anybody knows him for. You know, Federico, you know what I'm talking about. Stephen doesn't, and so I was thinking he could be like the Jeff Keighley of Connected. Stephen's googling, right? Are you googling Jeff Keighley?
No, I'm
okay,
not.
Good. Don't. You shouldn't. You don't want to.
No, I can't be bothered. Yeah. But no, congratulations, Jeremy. Enjoy your emoji
Congratulations, Keith, also.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Keith.
Big Keith energy.
Keith energy.
So we have we got some work to do today, some very important work. But before we started, I just wanted to shine a little light of love for Lex, who puts together Rickies.co. He put together a massive, like, I guess a 2.0 leading up to this. And there are some amazing new features. There'll be links in the show notes to the annual Rickies 21 and 22, so you can see those. But just some amazing things that have been added to this website, including, I think, our joint favorite, a feature called Ahead of Its Time.
Oh, I love that.
This is so good. So good. When I saw this, I was like, oh my God. And that was how I felt. And I'm now giving you some of that energy.
There's also Buzzkill. It's like if you have a flexi or a pick that's like negative, you can be labeled a Buzzkill, which is pretty good.
Just so we can explain though, the Ahead of Its Time is if we picked something that's wrong, but it later comes true, Lex goes back and updates the previous pick. So, like, for example, if we'd picked something and then 7 months later we're right, then he goes back and updates it. And then on each of our individual hosts pages, like host listings, because we all have our own pages with a bunch of statistics about our scores and stuff, or we have our own sections in it, we get like a ahead of its time statistic, which is just, it's so good.
30%?
Yep.
30% of my round picks came true later.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're ahead of your time.
Yeah. Only 20% of mine. Mike and I are about tied.
Mike has won 9 of 12 coin flips. Oh
I know.
My God.
It's unreal.
Oh my God. What is wrong with you?
I've been involved in 11 of them, I think, or 10 of them. I've only ever lost once.
It's pretty wild. So yeah, this leaderboard page is just amazing.
Yeah, and there's also now like a timeline, an interactive timeline showing who held each award, like each championship over the entire history of the Rickies. It's like a Gantt chart, which is super cool. There's a new search function, which has a bunch of categories, which is really helpful for us when we're making our picks to make, because Lex also put in, I feel like this is very helpful, on each item, if it is eligible for being picked again within the 1 year rule, which is very helpful. There's also some other thing called the Pickies, but like that seems like junk. I don't know what that is. It's got nothing.
Yeah, I think he got hacked or something.
Lex, by the way, something terrible went happen to your website.
No, yeah, I think he left the default, like the placeholder data. I think the Pickies is that, like the you know, like the lorem ipsum code. It's basically that.
There's just like a bunch of like really bad picks in here. Like I don't really know.
Yeah, it's default examples for like to test the website. It's
and a selection of
is.
rules that don't really make any sense. So,
all right, so let's take our first break, and then we will start judging our picks from last year. This episode of Connected is brought to you by Electric. When you're leading a small business, it's not all glamour all the time. In fact, sometimes it's a matter of spending hours trying to find a laptop that was lost in the mail for someone new, or dealing with some other technical emergency. Well, the team over at Electric knows small businesses, and they know that small businesses, maybe like yours, face challenges. So they've solved this problem for you by operating as your IT department. Instead of spending your time sorting through unused application licenses, setting up employee laptops, and answering never-ending IT questions, you can build your business empire. With Electric acting as your IT department, you can get back to what you're good at. Plus, you get a really cool IT platform to see and manage everything while they handle just that drudgery of IT support requests. I think Electric is great for a small business. A long time ago, I was like a full-time consultant, mostly working in small businesses. It's just there's so many things to keep up with, and having it all under one roof like Electric is phenomenal. For Connected listeners, Electric are offering a free pair of Beats Solo 3 headphones for taking a qualified meeting. Just go to electric.ai/connected to set it up. That's electric.ai/connected to get your free pair of Beats Solo 3 headphones today for scheduling a meeting. Our thanks to Electric for their support of the show and Relay FM. Before we get to the rules, we had a suggestion from listener Dr. Arden Burrell. He's a doctor.
Okay.
It's right there in his Twitter handle. It must be true.
Doctor. Okay.
And the good doctor recommended that we have some sort of preamble to explain.
Hang on a second.
What the Rickies are. That people coming into this may have no idea what's going on.
I feel like you're not following the process here.
What does that mean?
Well, surely this would be added to the rules, right?
Well, I think it's before the rules. I think it's preamble. It's like we stay with the Rickies
This feels like it would be in the rules document, right? As like
that you have to read the preamble every time.
No, that like at the opening of like a rules document, it could have the explanation for what the rules are even for, right?
Well, we can both be right because we haven't started the rules yet.
Because what I was going to say is, if this is going to be a part of the rules document, any amendments to the rules document occur after the rules are read in their entirety, and then we go back and make changes.
Well,
so I feel like you're not following the process.
Well, maybe you can add that as maybe you can try to add that as a rule
that says. No, I don't want that.
So, what do we think about some sort of introduction? We should we read the doctor's suggestion?
What the doctor ordered? Yes.
Well done.
Please.
All right. So he writes, the Rickies is a competition to determine which connected host has the greatest skill at predicting Apple announcements. It's pretty good. I feel like it lacks a certain twist of the knife we're looking for.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't say anything about a loser. So maybe like who's the best and the worst at predicting Apple announcements?
It lacks a bit of panache. This description, I think.
What about?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the word passion has to be in there, right?
Right.
I feel like here is my suggestion here. I agree with this, but it needs work. So maybe for the next Rickies, this is the amendment to be made.
Because I do feel like by us discussing the need for a preamble, we kind of already have a preamble for this set of Rickies.
Yes, because you just read what the doctor suggested, and what the doctor suggested is enough to understand. However, I would like there to be something that maybe we have written or spent some more time with.
Okay.
But so why don't we put that in as a potential change for the next time?
Okay. Let's all stand, and I will read the rules. There are two types of Rickies, annual Rickies and keynote Rickies. The winner of the annual Rickies is named annual chairman and retains the rights to the corresponding Twitter account for the full year. This position is awarded every January.
I just want to state for all the Mike fans out there, I'm sorry I didn't shout, let's read the rules. I know that there's a selection of people, a small group of people that wanted that.
What, do you want to do it right now?
No, because it's too late now. I'll make sure to get it in for the flexies.
Yeah, we got another set of rules to read. Okay. The Keynote Rickies winner is named the Keynote Chairman and retains the rights to the corresponding Twitter account until the next keynote is held. Order for the annual Rickies is based on the winner of the previous year. Order for the Keynote Rickies is based on the previous Apple event. The loser goes last. To earn any points, everything written down in the prediction document must come true. No half points may be awarded in any round. Picks cannot be reused by any contestant within 365 days of first being made.
Can I just say, can I interrupt for 1 second?
Can I just read we're going to talk about the rules at the end.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Order in the court. 1 point is awarded for any pick deemed correct in the first 2 rounds. 2 points will be awarded for correct picks in the risky pick round. If your risky pick is wrong, you will lose a point, and the 2 other hosts must agree that your pick is risky. For Keynote Rickies, the scoring window starts when the event begins and closes when the picks are scored. Information must be publicly verifiable to be used in scoring. After scoring is complete, each host must update their official Ricky Trophies late 2021 to reflect the new winner. The large location marker is for the annual chairman, while the smaller location marker is for the keynote chairman. Trophies should remain in sync at all times, with photographic evidence provided on demand. As a reminder, Mike is the current annual chairman. That is up today, potentially. We'll see if he holds on to it. Mike is also the current keynote chairman.
No, he isn't.
Oh, he's not? Oh, someone didn't update the document. Federico.
Have you not updated your trophy? Because I look at my trophy every single day, so I know that Federico is the keynote.
No, my trophy's right. The document was wrong.
So what you're saying is the rule document was incorrect. That feels upsetting.
It was just was like not really in the rules. It's like explainer. It's in italics. So we have a couple things in the rules we need to address. You had one, it sounded like.
Oh, it wasn't that. It was just merely, I'm sorry I interrupted you. It was the 365-day thing really screwed us because we did our last picks 363 days ago. So that made things particularly tricky for me because I made a couple of picks and had to change them because it hasn't been a year since we did the annual picks. So that was very annoying.
The trophy has been named the Tricky. This is the trophy that the 3 of us have, the wooden one that lights up.
Correct.
So I suggest that we change Ricky's trophy late 2021 to just saying the official trophy named the Tricky. I don't know. I feel like we need to...
Or just must update their official Tricky.
Just the official trophy?
To reflect the new winner.
And then we have a note on trophies should remain in sync at all times. 1, maybe we should call it the closing ceremony.
Yeah, somebody recommended that, I think. This is the closing ceremonies of the Rickies.
Yeah, I think so.
Updating our trophies.
Yeah, I like it.
I don't think we have to include that in the rules, or we can if we want to.
I think we should, because I just think the idea of saying it's the closing ceremony.
Trophies. Okay, trophies. What if we say this? Trophies should be updated the end of scoring
as part of the closing ceremony.
As part of the closing ceremonies. And then, obviously, since last time we were in this document, we have shipped, and they've all been shipped. If you don't live in America, yours is on the way. It's just slow. I promise you it's coming. That people have mag Rickies, the magnetic version of the magnet. And so people, as they listen to this, can hold their own private closing ceremony.
Correct.
To update their at-home trophy.
Yes, I think that should be added in as like another line. Like, and listeners with mag Rickies should also take this time to update.
Rickies should hold their own private
closing ceremony
with their magnetic.
Now, what about me? Because I have both a Tricky and a mag Tricky.
Well, I mean, you're just on your own.
I have to listen back to the show and make my own private closing ceremony.
Federico has 2, but they're being held in a warehouse in Italy for 2 weeks.
For some, I don't know. We don't know.
Beats us. We have both talked to UPS.
You two are very bad at sending things to each other.
It include well, the last thing we heard was a problem is that I included a holiday card as a line item on the form because I wanted to be thorough. I didn't want to get Federico in trouble about like shipping stuff I, didn't disclose. And apparently Italy doesn't like that we said it had no value. So,
well, your holiday card has value.
Yeah, but like. Yeah, but the calendar was like $50 or whatever, and then I think we put $1 is what we decided on, but who
that's
knows?
So ridiculous. Custom stuff is so ridiculous.
It's
Can I just say as well, the closing ceremonies, right? So I like putting that in there because having a closing ceremonies makes it possible that in some point in the future we may have an opening ceremony to the Rickies.
Yes, it does.
And I find that tantalizing because I don't know what that might be, but I like it. Clearly the rules would be part of it, but maybe there's like a torch, Who knows?
I don't know if we need open flame in our offices.
But it would definitely raise the passion.
Candlelit pics.
Candle. No, never mind. No, I didn't.
I mean, if you think about it, a torch is just a big candle.
So is that the rules then?
I think the rules are done.
Can we sit? Can we sit down?
Yes. Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Please be seated.
Oh yeah, because you're Stephen. Stephen stands when he records now, so. He's always standing.
It gets spicy.
So, he's like a standing person, so he doesn't even think about people that sit anymore.
Yeah. I was thinking the other day, like, can I get a treadmill under this desk?
Oh, we've lost him.
No, I wasn't thinking that.
That's it. No. That's the end. Goodbye.
Round 1. Mike, you went first in 2021. Yeah. Why don't you read us your pick?
Did that mean that I won 2020? I've forgotten that now. I guess it did, right?
If those were the rules at the time,
so
then yes.
I guess if only there was somewhere that I could go to find out this information. I want to know now, so I'm going to check. But because that feels important to me now. Was I a 2-year? Yeah, I did. I was 2 years. 2 years running. Let's see if I can make it 3 years running. My first pick was Apple announces a new Mac Pro powered by Apple Silicon. Uh-oh. That doesn't feel good.
Oops. Nope.
That doesn't feel good.
I seem to remember that felt aggressive at the time, but hey.
Really? Did it feel aggressive? I don't remember.
Yeah. Well, no, I think this is when we were discussing what 2 years meant. Was it 2 years transition from the announcement or the first M1 Mac shipping?
Well, I just figured it would happen before the end of 2021, and it didn't happen. This, by the way, was the pick that I also suggested for what would be one of my round picks for this year's. But obviously, I cannot pick this anymore because it was 363 days ago, like a chump. So I've lost twice on this one. Really?
Calendars.
So that didn't happen.
My round 1 pick.
I have a question for you on this, actually. Do you think without the chip shortage, it would have happened?
No.
Well, I mean, I would like to introduce you to your Ricky pick later on, then.
I mean, I don't know. What did my Ricky pick say? Oh, yeah, look at that.
You're very, very bullish for someone who made a very similar pick. Actually, much more aggressive
in hindsight,
pick.
we both sound like morons.
Well, I don't think I sound like a moron. I think a lot of people thought that this was going to happen in 2021.
My pick. The iPad mini does receive a new design language in 2021.
Nice.
I have the two of you to thank for this because my pick was originally it would not be redesigned. And you talked me out of that pick into the positive version. and I got a point for it. So thank you.
So does that mean we also get a point?
Yeah, we share that one.
No.
That's a third of a point each.
No.
You just, as it says in the rules, no half points. We could take a third of a point.
Oh, no.
each.
So I refuse to change that language because it infuriates Jason Snell. Every time he's like, but what about other percentages?
Well, but we've just found the loophole. It's a third of a point each.
But we're not doing that.
Yeah.
We're not doing that. All right. So, of course, the iPad mini has the iPad Pro and Air design. I love my iPad mini. I was just talking with Mary about this the other night. We were on the couch looking at something online, and she had her iPad Air. I was like, that iPad looks enormous. Like, I'm just so used to the mini. I really still love this device. However many months in, it's effectively my only iPad.
It's still, I love it so much, but it's like, it feels bittersweet already because I just know that they're not going to update it in a year. Right? Like, it hurts me, like, because I love it so bad. But I guess I'm going to have to see how much do I love it, right? When there's an 11-inch mini LED iPad, potentially, right, this year, how much do I love the mini? We'll find out, I suppose.
Yeah.
That's the expression, like, you either die an iPad Pro or live long enough to become an iPad mini. Something like that.
That is what it says.
Yep, that is as everyone says. I'm surprised I didn't think of that often used phrase when I was thinking of it.
I know that's featured heavily in the movie The Dark Mode Rises.
Yes.
Yes, Stephen. Yes. Come on, this is the energy we're bringing. Come on.
That's right. All right, Federico, finish up round one.
And in round one, oh, poor iPad mini. I'm staring at it right now. But I know, little buddy, you're going to have a crappy year. I said Apple launches at least one iPad model with a new display tech in 2021. And there was the context saying clarify new to the iPad. So, of course, this is a point, thank you, because of the beautiful Liquid Retina XDR display on the 2021 iPad Pro with the mini LED technology. Is it called mini LED?
Turns out you
Mini
didn't
LED.
need that clarifier at all. I don't remember why we...
I think because
what were we expecting would have it up first?
We said what if the MacBook Pro for whatever reason comes out first, and then the MacBook Pro got delayed, like according to the rumors, a bunch of times, and so the iPad Pro.
That's
got
true
it
because the
first.
rumors at the time were for both of them. Like it wasn't like there was the MacBook Pro rumor came after the iPad, right? Like there were concurrent rumors of the mini LED technology coming to multiple devices. Okay, that makes sense. Sense.
And also, it would have accounted for OLED. I think.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Like it has to, and we say it has to be new to the iPad. That was the context of it. And so, iPad Pro with the XDR display, still a amazing display, right? Makes me sad that the iPad Mini doesn't have it. We'll see what happens there. But in the meantime, yes.
Maybe the iPad Mini will just like get an OLED screen and like middle finger to every other iPad, you know?
I mean, I'm fine with it as long as it gets better.
OLED is better than mini LED,
Mike,
right?
I should.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I think it is. You know what happened to me a few days ago? Just after not having been able to see it, I saw jelly scrolling for the first time in my life. I saw it.
No.
Now you're ruined.
But here's the thing. I saw it in a particular app, in a particular context. I was reading an article. I think it was the layout of the story with an image on the side and text on another.
Mm-hmm.
I saw it. I could replicate it. And then I stopped seeing it.
Okay.
Like that was weird. Like I switched to Safari and a different article, and I couldn't see it anymore.
Must have just been something about the color.
But I saw it.
Because it definitely, I see it more in certain apps or use cases than others, like for sure. So
okay.
So at the end of round one, Mike has no points, and Federica and I are tied with 1 point each.
I could still win it though with 0 points.
Oh yeah, and we got another round and the Rickies.
I could still win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're not out of it. All right, round 2. Mike, you're up.
iOS 15 gives users more home screen customization options on the iPhone. This is a skin of the teeth point.
Wait, is this a point?
Yeah, you can customize with multiple home screens. You can just turn them off, turn them on. That is customization. It's a home screen.
Right,
This is look.
Yeah.
If we have to be
Okay.
very generous friends here to give this point, but I could argue it for a couple of minutes if you need me to. But
No, I mean, technically, you're getting this point on a bunch of technicalities, I think, but it still counts.
this is one of those, just like the way I wrote it down means that I'm lucky.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
technically, you are getting more options, more customization options. Sure, you're
Right.
getting them. Like you can hide, you can rearrange the pages, you can delete the pages, and you can associate, you can tie them to focus modes. So yeah, technically you are getting
But this
more
is what I meant.
options.
That's not what I was thinking of.
This isn't what you meant. The thing is, you get the point, but it's you're not getting the spirit of the
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
of the pick.
Yeah.
But it's still counts.
You have it intellectually, but you don't have it passionately. Round 2, my pick. No person.
No, but also true. Also true.
Yeah. No in-person WWDC 2021.
And there isn't gonna be 2022 either. So
Or 2023.
That could be a pick later on. We'll see.
Or 2024. Can it though?
oh, you think they're
Yeah, I
done
mean, I've
for
been saying
good?
this for ages. I think it's done.
I think it's done too. Yeah.
If you do 3 years in
no.
a row, virtual, why
Yeah.
would you go
Then
back?
you come
Why would you go
back.
back?
Because you miss people.
But you can still have
Do they?
people, just not the world.
Look, I think, okay, so here's my thing. Obviously, I'm all for, we're living in this situation. It is what it is. But I still miss, events and people.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
Like,
And I'm sure there are people at Apple
I
that do
think-
too, but it is a huge cost
Yeah,
and a huge
think
loss
so.
of engineering time at an incredibly important time of their year, where you can do
Yeah,
it
but it's
online and
just a
include more
bummer.
people.
but it's sad and
yeah.
Right.
cold.
But Apple's not our friend. They're just a company.
They're not going to do something because it makes us feel sad. Otherwise, there would be a lot of things that they would have changed by now.
No, also true. Like the iPad mini. Yes.
You can insert your thing here,
iWeb.
right? Oh, yeah, because I got rid of iWeb.
Yeah.
Boo.
Oh, yeah. All right. Federico, you're up.
I said Apple launches AirTags accessories for tracking physical objects. I also said the name is not set in the pic, but also that's the name. So that was the name. So yeah, AirTags. I love them. I can tell you, they make for excellent Christmas presents. I got 2 of them. One for my mom, one for a friend. I had them custom engraved. Very nice gift. I got an AirTag from Apple.
What did you put on them?
Oh, on my mom, just their initials. On my mom, it was her initials and one dog emoji. And on my friend's initials and a heart emoji, I think. Yeah. Yeah, it was very nice, very nice.
The AirTag with the initials and like one of their little keyring things. It's classy. It's a classy keyring.
Mm-hmm. It is. The leather one?
Mm-hmm. It's
Yeah.
a good looking keyring.
Yeah, we got a cheap plastic one from Amazon because we thought that the Apple ones were
Look, I already bought you an
expensive.
AirTag. What do you
So
want
we
from me?
Exactly. It's like, okay, look, it's a 40 euro gift. This is
Yeah.
okay. You're
I
gonna
engraved
have
it.
to make the yeah.
Calm down.
You're gonna have to make the plastic keychain from Amazon work for you.
Okay, so the end of round 2, Mike has a total of 1 point. I have 2 points, and Federico has 2 points. So round 2 was very kind to all of us. We all got all of our...
Could I still win?
Mm-mm.
In theory, yeah.
If you...
I can
Yeah,
still
you
win.
can.
You can.
Yeah, you can.
If you got
You
your
could win.
Ricky and we both lost our Rickies,
Okay.
you would win.
So let's see how that goes. My Ricky is...
Tell us what your Ricky
a
is.
Mac gets a screen that supports touch and or Apple Pencil input.
Yeah, what were you thinking here?
Hey, it's a Ricky pick, right?
Oh, it is. And they should totally do it.
I still think it's going to happen at some point, but I don't think it's going to happen in 2022 either. but I think it will happen at some point.
Especially the Apple Pencil. Like, just I've said this for years. I wrote this in a column like 5 years ago. Just make the giant trackpad able to see the Apple Pencil. It's like you can use your Apple. You don't even have to do anything with the screen. Just like, let me draw my trackpad with an Apple Pencil. It's right there. Okay. My Ricky pick. Apple has Apple Silicon versions of all of its Intel Macs on sale by the end of 2021. There was some clarification about this because the point was brought up, well, what if there's still like an Intel version of a machine that's also an Apple Silicon? Like maybe like how the Mac Mini line is split right now. And so we clarified no Intel Macs on sale without an Apple Silicon counterpart, but it doesn't matter because there's still lots of Intel Macs running around.
And I was so close.
I can't believe you did this to yourself.
I should have phrased it differently. My risky pick was Apple releases a new programming app for iPad that is not Swift Playgrounds.
Now, I don't remember. Did we make you say not Swift Playgrounds? Or
I think
did you
we
just
did.
Put that in there on your own.
Anyway, the way that this is phrased, I don't get the point because of the way that it's phrased, but obviously the spirit of it was you will be able to write apps on iPad. And that's exactly the thing you can do now as of a couple of weeks ago with Swift Playgrounds 4. But it's not technically a new programming app for iPad. So I don't get this point. And it sucks that I don't get this point. Because I knew what I meant, but I cannot even argue for it because it's written right here.
Dude, I felt so bad when they were like talking about, oh, we got this new thing coming to the iPad. Oh, it's just a new version of Swift Playgrounds. I was like, I thought about this, Ricky, during that announcement. I was like, I'm so sorry.
It sucks, but that's a lesson to be learned on how you phrase your picks.
It always comes down to phrasing. Mike got his only point because of phrasing, and you missed your Ricky because of phrasing. It really is the whole game. This leaves us in a very interesting place because Federico, you and I are tied with 1 point each. So we have to do a coin flip.
Oh no. Wait, where are my Rickies.co stats? Where's my stats page? Rickies.
You want to find out what the two of you have done with coin flips? Is that what you
okay, Federico,
know?
you have been victor 1 out of 4 times with a 25% win rate. I have won 3 out of 11. That's a 27.3% win rate. So neither of us are good at this.
Yeah, but there's no.
Well, because I'm so good at it.
Wait, why is there? This is.
Yeah, Mike's win rate is 75%.
Wait, there's a. There's a conspiracy against me here. Why am I the only one without heads and tails data in the coin flips section? Steven has it. Mike has it.
Well, because
I don't.
Because it's a preference for, right? You've only done it. Oh, I guess you've done 1 of 4. Yeah,
He's done it 4 times. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why that is.
Yeah, I don't know. File a radar. Okay.
Oh, because it's equal apparently, Federico. You've picked, according to Lex in the Discord, you have picked 2 heads, 2 tails of your 4 coin flips. So you don't have a preference. Your preference is equality.
Well, I mean, that will change this time because you will tip that one way or the other, assuming you pick a side and not the edge of the coin, which I don't think is possible in Dice by Pcalc.
Oh, no. Are we using... no, we're using Dice.
We're using Dice by Pcalc, and I have it right here. I'm ready.
Okay. So Federico, I will let you choose.
No, hold on. I'm going to need some help here. Hold on.
Help.
What does that mean?
Oh, he's asking Sylvia. Is that technically legal?
I don't know about that.
Do we need a rule for this?
I don't. That's outside collusion.
Outside interference from a known co-conspirator of James's.
Yeah, you can't do what she says.
You
have to choose your own.
I asked.
No,
you can't do
you have to choose on your own.
Tell us what you want.
You can it's not in the rules. You can't force me.
I mean,
and I'm gonna follow her advice.
I guess we're never gonna be able to tell him. But we've got to put in the rules if we don't like it, because he could just say...
Okay, hold on. I thought about it. Yeah, okay, I've made my decision.
Excellent. That's all I wanted to hear. What is your decision?
Heads.
Stephen, what is your decision? All right, you ready?
Yep.
It's not heads, it's tails.
Oh, come on.
Okay. So, aside from the fact that was James reading that out, there's a coin. The coin has changed in Dice by Peacock. It says there's 3 J letters on it.
What is that? What does that mean?
I don't know. Maybe it's like for just
No, that's
jump
not.
in.
No.
And it says, I don't know. It says jollity, japery, jesting is what the coin says.
That doesn't sound like anything that's worth paying attention to.
It sounds like a fraudulent coin.
No, I mean, look, we have to trust it because...
We put it in the rules.
Put in the rules.
Yeah. That
Maybe
was our own fault,
in the future
really.
we dethrone Dice by Peacock. You know, James thinks he has all the power here. He has none of the power. We choose to use his application.
Dice by Connected. That's what we need to make.
This is a fake coin. I will not accept the results of this coin. You stole the Rickies from me. And on January 5, you couldn't even wait a day for the full anniversary.
You know, Federico, as the new annual chairman,
Oh, no. I hate how that
I
sounds.
grant you clemency for your future attempted coup.
Wait,
that
did
will
you just
fail.
pardon him? What is
am
happening?
Not conceding. I am not conceding. You used a fraudulent coin.
So, Stephen, this is your first annual.
It is.
Congratulations.
And we all know it. We all know it. This is a fraudulent coin.
Well,
we all know it.
Come back next year with better picks.
Look at it. No.
All right.
Oh, my God.
We have to deal with the flexies now.
Okay. Well,
But let's take a break.
Okay.
Let's everybody calm down. And we'll come back and grade our flexies for last year. This episode of Connected is brought to you by Indeed. Maybe you're successful in business because you love doing the research, whether it's the state of the market or the next right hire. But when you're low on hours and still want to do a great job on hiring, where do you go for help? It's time for Indeed. Because Indeed is the hiring partner where you can attract, interview, and hire all in one place. And Indeed is the only job site where you're guaranteed to find quality applications that meet your must-have requirements, or else you don't pay. So instead of spending hours on multiple job sites, hopping around, hoping to find candidates with the right skills, use the one powerful hiring partner that can do it all. Indeed partners with you on every step of the process. Find great talent through time-saving tools like Indeed Instant Match, assessments, and virtual interviews. With Instant Match, as soon as you sponsor a post, you get a short list of quality candidates with resumes on Indeed that match your job description. You can invite them to apply right away. Plus, you only pay for quality applications that meet your must-have requirements. Here's a stat for you. Indeed delivers more than 4 times more hires than all other job sites combined, according to Talent Nest. They really know what they're doing. So start hiring right now with a free $75 sponsored job credit to upgrade your job post at Indeed.com/connected. This offer is valid through March 31st. Go to Indeed.com/connected to claim your $75 credit before March 31st. Indeed.com/connected. Terms and conditions apply. If you're looking to hire, you need Indeed. Our thanks to Indeed for their support of the show and Relay FM.
all right, we have some real-time follow-up from Lex. Federico has won 1 of 5 coin flips. That's a 20% win rate. He has a preference for heads, which he chose 3 times and won 0 times with. Sorry, Federico.
It happens.
I'm upset. This is a
Okay.
game riddled with anomalies and irregularities, and we're gonna have to take a second look at this.
Interesting. I cannot wait to see who your legal counsel is. I'm really excited to find out who that person will be.
Loser of the Flexies must compensate the winner of the Flexies by donating to the charity of the winner's choice. The amount of the donation is $25 per wrong Flexi made by the loser. Each host must make a minimum of 5 Flexi picks. Flexies may be reused as future Flexies or regular picks. The winner is determined by the ratio of correct to incorrect Flexies, and the money must be donated on air. A tie in either the regular picks or the Flexies is to be broken by coin toss. As Jason Snell has a lifetime ban on flipping a coin, Dice by PCalc in Relay FM mode is the official way to break a tie. We, once again, need a preamble to explain what these things are. So maybe we work on that for next time. Do y'all agree? Need a preamble?
Yes. I was waiting. You said a few things. I was waiting for you to say all the things.
That's the first one. Second one is we all have our own names for when we win the Flexies.
Oh, I forgot about that.
We came up with these last time. So Federico was Prince Flexi. Mike, you were the Duke of Flexington.
Yes.
And mine was Senator Flexi.
I forgot that was
Senator
Flexi. Can't be royalty, can he? There's no royalty in America.
Is there royalty in Italy?
Surely you've had kings and queens in your country's history.
Used to be.
Yeah.
Used to be.
Well, you chose Prince Flexi for yourself, so.
Well, I did. I didn't know we were following based on, each other's
I would assume
country.
Stephen chose Senator Flexi.
Yeah. I think
it's interesting. Yeah. I don't know how I feel about the fact that you just decided to go Senator. You were given whatever you could have wanted, and you went with Senator.
Well, Prince isn't king, neither is Duke. We're all like second rung down leaders here.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's why you didn't pick President
Yeah, because
Flexi?
you didn't pick king.
What about
But what about
Vice
Congressman
President Flexi?
Vice President. That sounds like I lost.
That's great, right? VP Flexi.
I like Senator Flexi. And then the other thing we need to just continue with.
What about Chief of
That would
Staff?
be good.
What?
Well, like, what is
What about
like? Because you got
Attorney General Flexi?
District Attorney Flexi.
Attorney General.
Oh, that's good. Attorney General is really good.
Attorney General Flexi. And then the other thing is the bit about
AG Flex.
About ties being broken, I think needs to be at the end of the first part of the rules. It needs to be at the end of the regular rules, not the Flexi rules, because it makes more sense there, I think.
Yeah, but it's a reminder, right?
Yeah, but by the time, like, that happened today, right? We did a coin toss like 10 minutes ago, but we just read the rule about it now.
You're assuming that we're going to remember? Like, everyone's going to remember. That's the assumption we're making?
Yes.
Okay.
So I feel like it should just be at the end of the regular rules.
It's funny to me that you have now taken the stance that we should, for some reason, condense these rules, right?
I mean, I think we probably should. But.
Well, I think history would suggest that we do not feel that way, you know?
Okay. So that's the Flexies.
Okay.
Any other issues?
No.
Okay. All right.
So you are Attorney General Flexi.
Yeah, if I win.
Okay, I love it.
I really like AG Flexi. You know, like
that's good.
That sounds like a character too.
It does. It really does.
It's very nice.
All right, Mike, you're up.
Another variant of over-ear headphones will be released.
I mean,
as I read it, I was like, "Well, that's correct."
Other companies did make
them. Somebody did it.
But
surely
no.
Beats did it. Apple releases a weather API.
They should.
Not only did they not do this, they updated Dark Sky.
It's still kicking.
So that was fun.
They delayed the shutdown of.
That's probably
right?
because they haven't got a weather API ready.
Yeah, work from home. Got them.
They couldn't go outside to see what the weather was like, so they had to delay the API.
Or because they're all in California, the API just reports back 75 and sunny, and there's not actually an API. It's like a text file.
New Apple TV released. Love my new Apple TV. It's so great.
Nice.
iPad multitasking is overhauled again. A new iMac has adjustability that's reminiscent of the Pro Display XDR stand.
The thing about this is, well, you didn't get it, but
No.
It looks like the Pro Display XDR stand. Like the foot is styled the same way,
Yeah.
but very little adjustability.
I still hope that the iMac Pro has this feature.
I hope it does. It'd be great because like stacking your iMac on a bunch of books just doesn't feel good.
So another thing I'll say, Apple, you can try me on this one. If you had an option to add a $1,000 stand to an iMac Pro that did this, I would probably get it. Because then I don't have to get another thing anyway, right? I'm always going to end up spending more money if I don't get an adjustable stand because I then need to adjust the height of the monitor. So I would if I'm going to be already in for many pounds with this thing, I would pay extra for adjustability. Maybe not 1,000, but I wouldn't be happy, but I do want it.
My iMac, when I ran an iMac, it sat on a original airport base station, or not an original, but like the square one, and then an original Apple TV because they were like the same size and it just fit perfectly under the iMac.
So what you're saying is you've been used to very expensive stands for a while.
Yes.
Is what you're saying.
Yeah. So you got 2 of your 5. That's pretty good, I think.
That is actually pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that.
Federico, you're up.
So I said Apple releases its own game controller.
This is never going to happen. I cannot believe you picked
iOS
that.
gets an...
They're never going to do this, right?
Okay, there's no need to...
Unless technically you count like the thing for the headset as a game controller. You know?
Never say never, exactly. Like there may be an Apple game controller.
It's a thing that you use to control a game.
Well, they did release a new Siri remote.
I knew you were going to say this. They removed functionality from its game controlling abilities, so this does not count, Federico. It's not only a Siri TV remote, it now does less to control games than the one that came before it.
Okay. Moving on. iOS gets a native feature to change icons for any app you want.
Surely iOS 15 got this one, right? Surely.
Yeah, it did not.
Is there a bigger swing and a miss than all the cool customization stuff that they added in 14 and it blew up? And then they just haven't touched it since.
It just did nothing.
But we'll talk about this more. Moving on, Apple releases a bigger iPad Pro. This also did not happen. I still think they should do it. Like, I still think they should do like a 15-inch or something, or 16-inch iPad Pro. That thing would be incredible. It would be perfect for the current like version of multitasking. Like, imagine like even better split view, even better slide over. It would be incredible with the Apple Pencil. They could charge a lot of money for it. They could pitch it to artists. They could pitch it to writers. I would love that device, like a desktop optimized iPad Pro. That would look incredible. It would make for an excellent sidecar display if you're into that sort of thing. I still want it, but it did not come true.
Maybe that's the external display.
At least a new. maybe that's it's the bigger iPad Pro. At least a new iPhone model as both Face ID and Touch ID.
I don't want to get into this today because it's like a whole thing, but I have not been wearing my Apple Watch for a while, and boy, does it terrible just having a Face ID iPhone.
It's one of the reasons to wear one every day.
Honestly, it may be one of the best reasons to get an Apple Watch in this time.
Conspiracy. This is why they haven't added Touch ID back.
I thought you were going to go in a real different mode there, so I'm pleased.
Yeah, me too. You
don't need a mask. It's the man keeping you down.
No, I thought that you were going to say that you were going to go right back to the beginning on that one. Where did it come from? I don't know.
Oh, no! Bad Mike.
You said it.
No, I didn't. I didn't even think it.
Federico heard it. I heard it.
Mike and I, we think alike. It's like, yeah, I mean. Stranger things have happened, or have they?
All right. The last one is really the heartbreaker.
Isn't it convenient that they brought the oxygen sensor to the Apple Watch straight away? Convenient, right?
Well, I mean, Foxconn made the Apple Watch and other things.
Welcome to Connect, the show about correlation and the pandemic.
All right. Federico, your last flexi, man. Just,
Finally, I said WidgetKit gains support for new sizes.
Thumbs up.
Okay. Yeah. And more interactivity.
Thumbs down.
Federico, I would like to introduce you to my friend and/or.
Yeah.
I'm losing this pick on a Boolean operator. This is so sad.
When Boolean operators are introduced, we all lose.
This and your Swift Playgrounds pick, man, you just got owned by like the tiniest details this year.
Mm-hmm.
By the English language, really. I got owned by the So obviously we got the new size, the new XL size on iPad, but the same interactivity, which is basically close to 0 as of iOS 14. So yeah, as you mentioned before, really surprising that the most popular feature of iOS 14 was basically untouched in 15.
It's so sad.
It's very sad, and which also means I got 0 flexes right.
So Mike has 2, you have 0. Let's see how I do. Apple puts a cheaper display on sale as a sibling to the XDR. There will be a chip named M1 followed by a letter. Nope. They went with Pro and Max because of course they chose the most confusing names possible.
That's way better than X.
It is until you have to say a Mac with M1 Max. Like it's
you just say M1 Pro Max chip. That's it. Done. Easy peasy.
M1 MP, M1 PX, M1 MXPX. Okay. We see the iPhone 12s this year, not the 13.
You were so convinced. What? Yeah.
Look, it's an S phone. We all know it's an S phone.
But that time, yes, but that time is over.
Technically, they're all S phones. I don't know. What do you want?
Technically, we're on the
iPhone 4.
This is iPhone 4.
Oh, does it hiss? I could be all over that.
Which one hissed?
Yeah.
The 7.
The 7.
Still most popular thing on my YouTube channel.
How does that make you feel?
Not great about the rest of my work in my entire career.
Yeah, it's also just the most popular thing you've ever done.
Ever done,
right?
ever, yeah. Single most, viewed piece of content I've ever made. Okay.
Enjoyed piece of content.
Apple ships an AR, VR, and or MR dedicated device.
And or.
See, if you had done and or, you would have a Flexi right now, son.
Yeah, but you used and or, you don't have one, do you? It isn't the be all and end all. It's not a silver bullet.
Yeah, well, the rest of my pick was bad, but his was good.
Ships. My God, Stephen, what were you on?
I'm gonna be stealing the and or.
The and or approach is the right approach.
Later.
I just live in the document saw and or added to a later thing. The cursor was moving and I saw /or get added.
Yeah, well, we haven't talked about this yet.
Yeah, okay. It's not set yet.
My next Flexi, no Mac gets cellular data option. At this point, I kind of think it's never going to happen. Why would you? My thought was when we saw the new MacBook Pros, like this was the chance to do it, and they didn't do it. So I don't think we're ever going to get this, which is a bummer. I think Mac should have 5G connectivity.
I hear 5G is the best thing.
It is. It's
you want 5G?
You know the thing about 5G. Okay. So lastly, the iPod Touch is canceled.
What did it do?
It did nothing. It's just still here. Oh, I see.
This pick is still the way that you phrased this. Still so.
Mike, you got 2 out of 5 correct.
Mm-hmm.
Federico got 0 out of 5 correct, and I got 1 out of 6 correct. So,
hang on.
Federico is the loser. I'm sorry, buddy. And you will be donating to Mike's charity of choice. And
correct.
Your fee is $25 per wrong Flexi.
And Mike is the Duke of Flexington.
He is the Duke of Flexington.
Hello, Governor.
That will be a $125 donation.
Whoa!
Oh boy, okay. All right.
Settle in, buddy.
Yeah.
Right? 5 times 25.
Wow.
All right.
That's not the biggest though, right? Because I
Love
think
it.
there was one year where I think Federico picked like 7 and got them all wrong or something.
Yeah, this is not the biggest, but it's a doozy.
It's a big one.
So, do you have one in mind already, Mike, or do you need a minute?
So I had forgotten about the charity aspect until you read it in the rules. So thank you for reading the rules.
You're welcome.
Because I usually prepare. However, a charity immediately came to mind. This charity is called Shelter. You can find them at shelter.org.uk. Shelter help people with housing issues or suffering homelessness. That's their whole thing. And so, Federico, I would like you to donate $125 to Shelter.
Okay, please select your location: England, Scotland, Wales, or Northern Ireland.
They're all the same.
Well, I live in England, so I will say England. I like to...
England.
Something that I try and do is to find UK or England-based charities. I think that makes sense.
What's the
conversion?
pound equivalent? Yeah.
What is $125 in pounds?
How much?
£92.15.
Let's say 95. Let's say 100.
Whoa, hello. Look at this guy.
That's fine.
Big spender, thank you. The charity will appreciate it.
I can choose a title. Can I choose so I have doctor, prof is professor, is reverend?
Yes, Reverend.
Can I be reverend?
Mm-hmm.
I like Professor.
I'll go with professor.
This episode of Connected is brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform to build your online presence and run your business. From websites and online stores to marketing tools and analytics, they've got you covered. Squarespace combines cutting-edge design and world-class engineering, making it easier than ever to establish your home online and make your ideas a reality. They have everything you need to create a modern and beautiful website. You start with a professionally designed template and use drag-and-drop tools to make it your own. Customize the look and feel, the settings, the products you have on sale, everything is just a few clicks away. And all your work will be optimized for mobile automatically, so your content is going to look great on any device. You also get free unlimited hosting, top-of-the-line security, and dependable resources to help you succeed. There's nothing to patch or upgrade. They have award-winning 24/7 customer support if you need any help. They even let you quickly and easily grab a unique domain name. Plus, you get all the tools you need for SEO and email marketing to get your ideas out there. Squarespace is great to turn your next big idea into a website, to showcase your work, publish a blog or podcast, promote your business, and so much more. A friend of mine here in Memphis just bought a business. The previous website, not good. And we are going to rebuild it on Squarespace. So it'll be quick. It's going to look awesome. And then he can just go in there and update things as he needs to. He doesn't have to worry about becoming a web admin on top of being a new business owner. It's going to work out great for them. I'm really excited to get that built. So head on over to squarespace.com/connected for a free trial with no credit card required. And when you're ready to launch, use the offer code CONNECTED to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain name. That's squarespace.com/connected. When you decide to sign up, use the offer code CONNECTED to get 10% off your first purchase and to show your support for the show. Our thanks to Squarespace for supporting Connected and all of Relay FM. I had this feeling last year, but I couldn't put my finger on it. And I think because this year, as the first time I've ever owned the annual title, the rules around how we pick the annual order it's really like the year 2 years ago, right? Because if we were basing the 22 order on the 21 winners, I would go first, but we don't know that when we make the picks, like when we in the document.
The way I've always felt it is, if you decide you want to take one of mine or Federico's picks, you can just take it.
Maybe.
And we just have to deal with it. But there's no way.
I don't feel that way this time. I feel like we all have.
But there's no way of handling it other than that.
Yeah. So maybe it's something else we can think about. The order of the annual picks.
You get to go first. But there's no way around it. We just all make our picks up because what else are we going to do? Come up with them on the spot? No, we're professionals.
Yeah.
But if you had decided that you liked mine or Federico's Ricky pick more than your own, you could just take it. And then I have to quickly come up with something else.
Let us commence with round one.
Mm-hmm.
My first pick. WWDC 2022 will be virtual.
Now, I would like to raise a point of order on this pick.
Mm-hmm.
Is this technically reusing?
I don't think it is. So I thought about this for a long time, actually. And here's my case, and it's up to y'all, of course. My case is, in this COVID time, every year is so different.
But I could apply that to literally any pick.
No,
that
because this is a pick that's specifically tied to COVID, right? If COVID wasn't a thing, the WBC pick wouldn't even be on the table. They're separate events, they're separate years. I feel like I'm not reusing a pick.
Well, but I feel like, let's say COVID goes away, you could still make the pick for next time. You could still make the pick. You could always make the pick. I don't think it's...
But the pick doesn't make any sense outside of the context in which we live. And look, Zach Knox says legally fine in the spirit of the rules. Absolutely not. I'm fine with being legally okay.
No, because then the reusing of the picks doesn't ever work under this, because I could just rearrange the words of the pick.
Matt says it well. W21 is distinct from 22. This is different than picking, quote, the X-Mac will be back in 2021 and then just changing the year. They're different things.
All right. I wasn't saying no.
Okay.
But I felt like I had to raise it.
That's fine.
Because it is not just someone reused this pick. You have. It's like, this is just your pick every year.
It is kind of the same pick, though.
It is the same.
It's not the same. Different event.
Why? Because you're just changing the number?
He's just changing the year.
We didn't we didn't have Omicron last year. We got that now. Which is really what
look, that doesn't, like, the context of the word doesn't matter. What the pick says is
but
what
the
matters.
pick is informed by the context of the world. I mean, if y'all vote, if you guys both say I should change it, then I'll pick something else. But I feel like it's an okay pick.
I'm just saying, because we're also setting a precedent here. So if you put them next to each other, no in-person WWDC 2021, then you scroll. WWDC 2022 will be virtual. Like, how many different ways you can phrase this so that you keep having this pick?
I mean, hopefully the pandemic ends and we don't have to find out. Maybe I'll start rhyming it,
So here's what I'll say. I'm fine with it as long as we're all okay with the potential precedent that this sets. This is like one of those Supreme Court decision type things, right? Where, like, by picking this, right, by allowing you to have that is fine, right? But then we all have to be okay with the potential ramifications of that. That like numerical incrementation. So for example, like every year could be like iPhone 14, iPhone 15, iPhone 6. It's just numerical changes, right?
But that's where I think the distinction is that what I'm saying is WWDCs aren't the same as that because they're individual events.
But they happen every year.
But they're not a series of products on a calendar.
But it's an event on the calendar.
I mean, it sounds like you two want me to change it. If that's what you want me to do, just say it. I'll change it.
All I'm saying is, if we're cool with this, we have to be comfortable with the precedent that it could set. Which, I mean, I like difficult precedents because it can do fun things.
Oh.
Here, okay, so...
I mean, we can...
The precedent does give me a little pause because I know the two of you, and while I mean it for good, you mean it for bad.
Yes, I will 100% use it for bad.
Yeah.
Because also it's your precedent, right?
All right, I tell you what, I will promote one of my flexies. I had an extra.
Okay.
Just in case. Mm-hmm. And I'll promote one of my flexies up to round one.
Yeah, Eric has perfectly put this in the Discord. Mike wants this precedent.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't want you to have it, Mike.
Yeah.
So I'm withholding from you. Okay, so my round one pick.
I also like the precedent that this sets too, though. Right? It's in the negative. Like, we can't just do that. And that said, Mike, now you pick it. I'm not gonna pick it.
my undisputed round one pick that has always been this. The 11-inch iPad Pro gets a mini LED display.
That's a good pick.
It came on the 12-inch. It's on the laptops. Put it on the little one.
Mm-hmm.
That iPad Pro would be sick. Can we just agree on that real quick? Like,
I
that would be
don't want to
awesome.
think about how good it will be. We can't talk about it.
It will kill the iPad mini in our hearts. All right, Federico, you're up.
So my first pick is at least one AirPods model will support lossless music playback by the end of 2022. So basically here I am combining a couple of things. First, we always said how odd it was that Apple had launched the AirPods Max, for example, and then they rolled out a few months later lossless playback support in Apple Music. And the AirPods Max, the expensive headphones, did not actually support it. Then we also saw how recently there was an interview with one of the VPs of, what's it called? Not audio. Is it audio?
Something like that.
They had an interview on What Hi-Fi where they basically said, Bluetooth isn't giving us enough bandwidth to do the things we want to do with AirPods and audio. And there was a recent Minchico report, I believe, saying that future versions of AirPods Pro 2 will support AirPods Pro 2 will support lossless music playback. So what I think is happening here, we're starting to get details on the next generation AirPods Pro. Apple is going to do something in terms of the technology being used to go beyond Bluetooth, whether it's like a custom, like a custom flavor of Bluetooth, or like with some, additional, like for example, I saw some theories on Twitter, like what if the case was also like some kind of radio transmitter that are like a version of Wi-Fi built into the case, or something like that. So I think Apple wants to go beyond the limitations of Bluetooth. I think they want to support lossless playback in AirPods. And I think we're going to see that in 2022, moving beyond this sort of weird state where we're in right now, where Apple is selling expensive AirPods, but they do not support lossless playback. Now, I also want to mention how, and this is outside of the context of the pick, if they're going to do this, I think lossless support will not be like the key feature of this. Just like when we were talking a few months ago about, Apple is going to add lossless playback in Apple Music, but they're also going to do spatial audio. And we said, they're going to do both features, but actually the one feature they're going to push a lot for consumers will be spatial audio, because so few people will care about lossless. And here I think we're seeing the same thing. Like Apple will support lossless, but it will not be the main selling point.
Oh, it will be like a side effect of this other thing that they're doing.
A side effect of it. Like they will pitch it as improved range or improved sound quality or extended battery life.
Range is a good one. I like that as a thing.
I think it will, like, the main sort of consumer-facing feature will be another thing. Like they will pitch it as range or better bass frequencies or something. Like they can sell it however they want, but technically it'll also support.
Can I ask you a question? Do you think that they will still be Bluetooth at that point? Or do you think that they just won't have Bluetooth in AirPods anymore? It'll be some other thing.
I don't think Apple wants to use Bluetooth anymore. I think they will have Bluetooth for Android compatibility or other devices. I think on Apple platforms, they want to use Wi-Fi. And I will add, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a bigger... Again, this is not the pick, just speculation. I wouldn't be surprised if there's an even bigger story here, which is AirPlay 3 with lossless playback support.
Okay. And it's like technically the AirPods are using AirPlay now or whatever, right?
I think that's. Technically they're. We don't know exactly. Like they're using Bluetooth, right? I think the story will be AirPods Pro support AirPlay 3, which is Wi-Fi, and lossless music playback.
Apple releases a new MacBook Air that comes with some color options not previously available in this product line.
A colorful MacBook Air would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I love my MacBook Pro and don't want a MacBook Air, it would be very hard to say no to like a beautiful orange laptop.
Yep. That is going to be a tempting computer for everybody. They're going to be really fun and going to be really cool. Because it's definitely going to happen. 1 point to me.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Round 2. I realize I've created the same problem for myself here, but I will read it and then we'll have to deal with it.
I didn't realize
By December 31st, 2022, no Intel Macs will remain on sale as new machines.
Okay.
That's a repeat, clearly. I think.
You're not very good at this.
No, I'm not.
Have you read the rules?
Yeah,
I mean, I do.
You read the rules every time.
All right, so I'm going to rob another Flexi.
Flexis have you got to steal from?
Well, I'm going to be short one now, but I've got time. And I have an Apple Notes thing where I have some other things written down.
Mm-hmm. What was the pick? Can you read it again?
By December 31st, 2022, no Intel Macs will remain on sale as new machines.
What do you mean by new machines? What does new machines
You can still get a refurbed one, but like...
No, this is a different pick. Because your previous pick was presuming that there would still be Intel machines available.
Apple has Apple Silicon versions of all its Intel machines, no Intel Macs on sale without... I'll leave it up to you. It's close. I think it's on the fence.
It's very close.
I leave it. I meant my fate is in your hands.
So your previous pick was Apple has Apple Silicon versions of all of its Intel Macs on sale by the end of 2021. No Intel Macs on sale without an Apple Silicon counterpart.
Which accounted for maybe there's an Apple Silicon Mac Pro.
Oh, actually, no.
And
This
Intel
is
Mac Pro.
that's
I think
close
it's the
enough.
same.
It was. It's the same.
Okay,
pick.
that's okay. That's okay.
That one is closer than the WWDC one. In replication.
So I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm gonna go negative.
Okay.
And I hate to say it, but I just believe it. The iPad's external display support goes unchanged.
Ooh. Okay.
That this madness of like hook it up to a display and you have Windows.
Wow, okay.
It's not. I don't think it's in the future for the iPad. Not this year.
Wow. Okay. Do you find that heartbreaking, Federico? Is this something that you're?
No, I also find it hard. I also find it hard to believe. I think it's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna get this point because I feel like Jason mentioned this recently somewhere. How all the stars have aligned for this feature to exist now, and it seems very unlikely that they're not gonna do it. Like there's pointer support on iPad, there's new multitasking and new multi-window, there's rumors of a new cheaper external display coming. I can feel this one coming,
Okay.
Steven, but please don't change it.
Okay.
My second pick is the next generation Apple Watch will have some kind of temperature sensor. I think it's, again, this was rumored before. I think it's time for the Apple, it's time for the Apple Watch to gain more sensors, right? And it feels like, especially the times we're living in, that measuring your body temperature is an obvious one.
So by this you mean like a body temperature sensor? When I read it, I thought like it knows like the temperature of the room. Okay. I was like, why would I care about that?
I mean, you're wearing the watch on your body. You're not hanging the watch on a wall. So
No,
I
that's
don't
the Apple
know
clock.
why you would make that connection. So anyway, the next generation Apple Watch will have some kind of body temperature sensor.
Is that like Big Apple Buddy?
That's like Big Apple
It's
Buddy.
a Big Apple Buddy
Yes.
sensor. I would like this actually. Until you said it, I'd never really considered it. But why not? I want to know how hot I am. Maybe my Apple Watch can tell me.
Oh, I can tell you very hot.
You just send me a selfie, baby.
So
I'll,
there's no
I'll
need-
tell you.
No need for an Apple Watch Series 8, man. I can tell you this much. So
Oh man.
I'm blushing now.
All right. Oh man, I should have stolen this pick from you, Mike. I forgot I had apparently the ability to do that, but
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. There will be no iPhone 14 with a 5.4 inch display.
that's the mini size, right?
Yeah, but I wasn't going to say mini. I originally wrote it, there will be no iPhone 14 mini. And I was like, no. They might do something silly and
It's
call the
5.5
smallest one
inches,
mini,
yeah.
right? No, or like they just call the regular phone the mini. But I don't think they'll do that, but they could have. So I went with that. So the iPhone mini's size is 5.4 inches, and there will be no iPhone 14 with a 5.4 inch display.
Is it wild to y'all that that's bigger than all phones used to be not that long ago?
Well, it's because they don't have the home button and stuff. Like
Yeah,
the physical
but-
size of it is not. It's not.
Yeah,
too
but I mean
wild.
like the display size, you know.
But still, yeah, it is funny that that's the mini, and like that wasn't that different to like one of the large
yeah,
phones.
that's almost 2 inches more display than the original iPhone.
Hey, here's something funny for you because you just said that, so I went to check it. The iPhone 13 mini has a 5.4 inch display. The iPhone 7 Plus had a 5.5 inch display.
Whoa. No way.
Really?
That's wild.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, they've really gotten big.
That's so funny. I don't know if I knew that before. Like, I never thought to look, but 5.4 to 5.5.
It feels wrong. Again, like you said, the bezels, they trick your mind.
Yeah. That's so hilarious.
Okay. The Rickies. Here's mine. Apple, parenthetical, of its own choice, not in direct response to a legal case, in parenthetical, will allow developers to use payment methods outside of the App Store.
Okay. I have a question immediately. How do we define of its own choice? Not in direct response to a legal case.
So there is definitely a know it when you see it kind of thing. But I was thinking about this too. So the change that they've made for the Japanese Fair Trade Commission, they had to say, they're like, because of we're settling this thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is if like they get on stage at WWDC or put out something in the newsroom and say, we have exciting new things for developers. Like, that's the difference. If it's settling a legal case, they have to say so. They can't pretend that that's not the reason, right? So that's how I viewed that when I look at it from an outside. Stephen, would you like to change anything on what I've said?
No, I think that's right. What I was thinking is, if Apple loses a case about this, everyone on the planet's going to know about it, especially the three of us who are super plugged in.
Or even if it's a settlement, I think they have to disclose that. At least they have done.
And so, yeah, this is Apple, in my mind, if this were to come true, it's one of those, the week before WWDC, maybe they quote Phil Schiller, they get him down from the cloud, and, he talks about this, and they're saying, hey, if you want to use X, Y, or Z, you can do that. I'm not saying anything about will Apple try to take a cut of that as well, what limitations they may or not put on it. I'm just saying payment methods outside of the App Store as we know it today.
I'm fine with this personally because I feel like we're going to know. I mean, because like ultimately anything that they do, it's not because they wanted to, right? So like it's not that, but it's like that basically the pick is that they are making, maybe it would just be easier, and I would still consider it risky if they just said Apple will allow developers to use payment methods outside of the App Store, not in direct response to a legal case. Just remove the of its own choice part. Because I still don't think they're going to do it. So that works for me. Federico is going to have to...
No, I think it works.
It makes it easier.
Also the spirit of the pick is also that. So the spirit of the pick is at some point Apple announces they're going to allow this. Not because like judge someone orders Apple to do this.
Right. Yeah, Phil Schiller doesn't come out on stage with a judge walking behind them with like a briefcase.
He comes out in handcuffs.
It's like, come here, Phil. You come here and you implement the thing on the App Store. No, that doesn't happen. It's like, come back here. No, that doesn't happen. Apple just comes out and says it either at WWDC or they like to do these things right before WWDC. They said now you will have even more freedom in terms of the payment methods that you can now accept on the App Store. Something like that. You know how they like to phrase these things. Not that, shoot, we were forced to do this and I guess we have to now. But no, we're giving you even more flexibility.
Even more flexibility of how you'll give us our 30%. But nevertheless...
It's just details,
That's the pesky details.
This can stay, I think.
All right. I love yours.
All right. This is the great comeback of a previous flexi that can now be reused according to our rules as a regular pick. iOS 16 brings major changes for system-wide design customization. Apple will let users natively change app icons
and
they'll they'll introduce new App Store categories for wallpaper and or icon
I love
apps.
that's where you put the and or, not...
No, they're definitely going to introduce a category. It's just whether it's wallpapers or icons.
That's my thinking. My thinking is
I will say, if they've done all of the other stuff you mentioned before, they have to do that as well.
Like,
right?
exactly. So the pick is predicated on the fact that they will let you modify app icons natively in a better way that is not like, oh yeah, you just make a shortcut that says open app and then you load this custom JPEG from photos or files. Like, there has to be a better way, right? And if there has to be a better way, there's also a way to monetize this on the App Store and get a commission out of it. All these wallpaper apps and all these like custom icon packs that you can find now on the App Store, they suck because like, some of them have beautiful wallpapers and icons, but the installation process is terrible because it's like a workaround for a workaround. And you have to believe that Apple has seen this and they must be thinking there has to be a better way for this. That is like, if people like to do this stuff, fine. Cat's out of the bag now. People are customizing their icons. Let's give them a better way to do so. And what better way to do so than making like a native feature and Apple can get a commission out of it? Because now you can have a native icon pack or a native wallpaper compatible app on the App Store and Apple makes 30% out of it.
Wasn't there like a thing from a couple of years ago, like that it was coming, but it never happened?
Exactly. A couple of years ago, or like a year and a half ago or something, there was a rumor that said Apple is working on native wallpaper apps that basically you install like a wallpaper compatible app from the App Store, and then in settings you see all of the wallpapers that the app is providing to the system, or developers will get an API to natively install a wallpaper for you without having to save your wallpaper to photos or to files. You just natively install it from the app. So I think it makes total sense to have an icon and wallpaper API, and it makes total sense to have App Store categories for both of them. However, I don't want to risk it too much. I feel like icons are more ripe for that kind of attention in terms of developer access and App Store section. And so that's why I put the and or in that part of the risky pick. So again, iOS 16 brings major changes for system-wide design customization. Apple will let users natively change app icons, and they'll introduce new App Store categories for wallpaper and or icon apps. That's the pick. Also, I should add Android has done a bunch of visual customization this year, and Apple did not. Again, despite the success of iOS 14. Very surprising. Yeah, so my only, and again, I'm raising a concern on my own here, is the natively qualifier. I feel like maybe that could be refined. Users will let users natively change app icons. Because, I mean, at the moment, you can already natively change an app icon, technically.
Maybe just like Apple will let users choose their own app icons. Maybe something like that. I know what you're trying to say, but
yeah, choose their own. I think I prefer it.
I like this. I like playing to Apple's insistence that everything be a store. I think that's good.
All right, you ready?
Yes.
The new Mac Pro will be smaller, not a cube shape, feature no support for the current MPX modules, and or will allow for some form of expandability outside of Thunderbolt. It will be available in one color.
I love the final part that it will only be one color.
I mean, how many colors are they going to make? I'm going to read it again because it's a lot.
Yes, okay. So, okay.
Plus, I added the and/or, by the way. It didn't. It previously said and.
Yes, I noticed.
I thought I'd get on the and/or train. Also, that part is particularly dicey, so I figured I'd put and/or in there. The new Mac Pro will be smaller, not a cube shape, feature no support for the current MPX modules, and or will allow some form of expandability outside of Thunderbolt. It will only be available in one color.
Hold on. So I want to clarify here. The and or
exactly
is a modifier for
MPX
the
modules part.
Feature no support for MPX modules. Okay. So no comma there.
Sorry.
Because otherwise it could have been, it could be smaller, not a cube shape, no support for MPX.
The entire thing.
MPX,
or you can also use USB. that's the whole thing. No, because previously there was a comma there because it just went on to or, but then I added and or.
Okay, all right.
That's it.
I have so many feelings about this pick.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys know this. I have a Mac Pro. It's important to disclose that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be smaller. I mean, I'm sure Apple knows, but the percentage of people that have their Mac Pro completely stuffed full of stuff, like cards, has to be pretty low.
It's a very big computer as far as computers go. It's very big.
I mean, not really. I mean, it's not that much bigger than my like gaming PC.
It's very big. With the handles,
the handles are great.
They're great, but it makes the computer very big.
In my mind, your entire pick orbits around what Apple does with the GPU. Because most people, every Mac Pro has a GPU in it, that takes up at least one MPX slot, maybe 2, maybe 4, depending on the size of the GPU. And so if it's all on die, like we've seen with the other Apple Silicon, then you don't need as many slots. And maybe it's like MPX 2.0, because you can slap just a regular PCI card in there and they could retain that compatibility. It's all just very interesting. I'm very interested to see where this goes.
So my personal feeling here is they say goodbye to cards and bring back the wonder of the external GPU. Like that's going to be the thing. If you want different and or more, you have to use an eGPU. Because
that's wild to me.
I am convinced that Apple will say our graphics are enough.
I think they'll say that too, but Apple Silicon doesn't have, currently at least, have any support for external displays, external GPUs.
But does Apple Silicon have support for MPX modules?
No.
Right, but so they could just add that the same as they could add anything.
Out of the two things, it feels like slots are more likely. Well, we'll see.
Right, but eGPUs are Thunderbolt. Like, they know how to use that.
But do they want to open that door in all the other Macs?
Sure, why not?
I don't know.
Like, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you do that? I genuinely think that they are going to say that our graphics are enough.
Yeah, I think so too. We'll see. This is the story for me next year, what they're going to do with the Mac Pro, which was also the story 3 years ago. It keeps coming back.
I'm sorry, Federico, that it was. I don't think it's going to be a cube. I know you really want it to be a cube.
It's a cursed shape.
Yeah,
I just don't think they're going to do it. I really don't. It's cursed for one, and two, I just think like it's not the most efficient shape.
They should make it a pyramid. They should make it a pyramid.
I was going to say they've done like the cylinder and they've done a cube. What's left?
Cylinder, cube, pyramid, or sphere. I have a pitch. The perfect blend of minimalism and whimsical. The Mac Ball.
Like the Nexus Q?
The Mac, just say it, the Mac Ball.
Well, with the Mac Pro, we introduced wheels, and we thought how great it was to move a computer around. So with the Mac Ball, we just made it a ball, and you can push it wherever you want.
And they use the tagline, just roll with it.
Ah, yeah.
With the Oasis song as the soundtrack, just roll with it. It's the Mac Ball.
Y'all know that Apple Store they opened somewhere? It's like a floating sphere on the water.
Yes. Is that
maybe you can dig that up, put it in the show notes. That's a precursor to this.
Again, Mac Ball.
Mac Ball Pro.
Apple Marina Bay Sands. Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Yeah. And that is in Singapore.
Well, let's go.
That's where that is. I would love to go to Singapore.
All right, Flexies.
Tim Cook says metaverse.
Oh, no, it's so gross. Okay.
That's good.
May I remind you, 5G. This is what cinched it for me.
Will he say metaverse the way I do with T as a D, like a metaverse?
Good morning from the metaverse.
Good morning from the metaverse.
Good morning from the metaverse.
Bad Tim Cook.
That would be a bad Tim Cook if he said it, but I think he's going to say it. Genuinely, I think that the term has just taken off, and I just feel like if they're going to have a AR VR product, they kind of can't get away from it. That's how I feel. AirPods Max 2.
Okay. That's all the pic says. Does it mean they have to be named
I
AirPods
think it
Max
does.
2?
Okay, well then.
Well,
It's written in the document.
But that's not. The Flexies aren't so rigid.
That's right, the name.
All right, new
everything is
AirPods
rigid.
Max.
okay.
A mixed reality headset will not be unveiled at WWDC.
Okay. So this means that if they unveil an AR or VR headset, it counts?
A headset will not be unveiled at WWDC.
Okay.
I don't think
Thanks.
they'll do it at WWDC. I think they'll do like what they did with the Apple Watch. Like it gets its own event, and then it gets a secondary event. Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen at WWDC. I think they will, whenever they announce it, even if they are only announcing it for developers, they need to show off the product because that's what people are tuning in for, right? They will show off the product. And I think you're going to get, it would be an hour to do it
So
all.
this isn't so much a pick about it not happening. It's just a pick about the context in which it happens.
Yeah, I actually do think they will show something off this year. I do not think it will be during WWDC.
So what if you changed it to say a non-WWDC event? Like something that captures the idea that it is happening, just not at Dub.
What difference does it make for
Because the more specific it is, the easier it is for you to lose the point.
But no, I don't think it makes any difference. But I'm keeping it as it is. A headset will not be unveiled at WWDC. An iMac Pro is unveiled.
I was against this idea initially, but I think I've come around. I think that's what they're going to call the big iMac.
iPadOS multitasking remains unchanged from iOS 15's implementation.
Yep. It's every other year.
Uh-huh.
Or every 3 years.
And, you know, like what Jason was saying and like what Federico was saying, which was in opposite to what you were saying, if they did some kind of like external display thing, they would have to change it. I'm just not convinced. I am more convinced in Apple's lack of doing something than their action in doing something.
So this is very closely linked to my pick about external display support.
Yeah, I think.
Because if I lose that one, you lose this one.
Maybe.
Well, if they add external display, what if they add external display support, but
it's just a better mirrored mode. Like there are versions of external display support that can be added that do not change the multitasking.
I don't know about that.
Sure, there is, because we were talking about this from way before.
What does it do
iOS
right
15.
now? Does it? I don't know. I've never even tried.
You have to leave the screen on and everything.
Well, we'll see. We'll deal with this when it comes up.
All right, Steven, you're up.
iOS 16 will bring a more bottom-of-the-screen centric design to at least one additional app. Safari has all of its stuff on the bottom.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That feels like a really good move in a land of bigger phones. I think we're going to see that come to at least one more app. I want it to be messages, kind of, honestly. Why are my Penguins all so far away? Apple announces a new paid service.
Do you have, what is this in your mind?
Service that you pay for.
You have no
I don't have
imagination?
To invent them.
All right, fine.
I mean,
Okay.
I do think, so I don't know. A new paid service.
I mean, you picked it. So, like, you just picked it with, like, nothing?
They love paid services. They want that graph to go up. I couldn't predict Fitness Plus, and it's here.
Lexus just said something that I saw a rumor for, which is audiobooks. I saw that there was a rumor about this a couple of days ago.
It could be audiobooks.
Like, oh, what a great idea.
Yeah, you pay $8 a month, and you get all you can eat audiobooks. A new home-focused device is released. HomePod Mini gets a friend.
What if they release a light bulb? Do you remember when everybody wanted them to release light bulbs? What if Apple should just make light bulbs?
Apple announces a developer-focused AR, VR, and or MR kit. So this is different from my previous pick where it was going to be like they ship it. This is a DTK. This is a developer kit for people to...
Can you just call it that then? Because what this says doesn't... I don't understand what this means. A developer-focused AR, VR, and or MR kit?
Well, that is to cover all my bases because you guys are jerks.
Can you not just do Apple announces a DTK headset? Like, that will be fine.
Yeah.
DTK headset. Okay.
Wow, you're good with words, Mike.
I should be a writer.
A more powerful Mac Mini is announced, but is not a Mac Mini Pro. I don't think they're going to combine those names.
Okay.
In your mind, does that replace all of the Mac Minis currently available, and it's just like one Mac Mini?
I don't see why they couldn't just have like Mac Mini and they have an M1 or whatever equivalent entry level, and then for $800 more you get like a beefy one, like just the way it's always been. It's just a spectrum of products.
Lex just raised a good point in the Discord. Apple announces a DTK headset, so developer transition kit. Transition from what?
Reality.
All right, good enough.
Developer kit for
Developer kit. Okay.
their headset. Its headset.
Okay.
God, am I turning it a mic? Okay.
It's a better way of saying it. Can I ask a question about the developer kit? Because again, this might be important for later on.
Yes, you can.
So my current thinking is Apple will not release any hardware for developers. They will say, here you go, buy a HTC Vive, plug it in, and you can make it work. If they did that, is that a developer kit?
No, it should if it's made by HTC.
If it runs their software, it is.
But that's not no, because then it's saying that every Mac is a developer kit, which it isn't.
No. Okay, so your exact scenario at WWDC or some other event, which now that you've said it makes a lot of sense to me. You know, what's his name? Watch Boy.
What's his name? Watch Boy. Okay.
Kevin Lynch.
Watch Boy.
Watch Boy. Kevin Lynch is said to be working on the car, not this.
Oh, who's working on the headset?
You are.
I come out on stage.
Watch Boy. No, didn't we decide that Rubio is doing it?
No, he's a senator from Florida. Dan Riccio.
No. Riccio.
Rubio.
Marco Rubio, right?
Marco Rubio.
He's walking.
Oh my god.
So Dan,
head boy Marco Rubio.
Then Rubio.
Somebody from Apple comes out on stage and they say, developers. We are making a headset and we want to put it in your hands first to build great applications for our headset and its store. Under your seat, you will find a Meta Quest 2 running what? That's the question, right?
Nothing. It doesn't need to run anything. It just is like an Xcode simulator, and it just shows it in your eyes.
Is that how the Meta Quest works? Like, is that how anything works? I don't know.
Well, okay. You can plug a Meta Quest into a PC and use it as if it's the full-featured Oculus Quest.
And so it pulls all of its
whatever Rift.
UI and everything from the PC.
Yeah. You're just using it as a screen then.
I would say the in my mind, the idea of a developer kit is any hardware Apple puts in the hands of its developers that is not going to ship. Like, I don't think it necessarily has.
Right, but if it's a HTC Vive, that's not an Apple developer kit.
But I don't think they would do that anyways because their thing is going to, supposedly be so much better than anything else on the market.
Yeah, but a developer doesn't need the operating system.
Say that sentence again. Just say it real carefully and think about all the words in it.
A developer does not need access to the operating system.
Yes, they do. That's the whole point.
No, they just need access to the SDK.
I don't see them shipping anyone else's hardware to the developers ever. I think they would have something of their own. Look, they whatever state their hardware is at when they announce this is going to be really close to final. They ship those out.
So like James is saying, we can't ship apps that have never been tested on a real device. Look at the Apple Watch. You had to
and
do
look
it
how
for the
crappy
Apple
it
Watch.
was. You think they want to repeat that?
Doesn't matter. It's maybe.
No, I'm telling you, they're going to do this, and it's going to be Apple hardware.
Okay, cool. I'm pleased you've backed yourself into this.
For people who, I'll speak for me. I don't care at all about this product. I'm not interested in it at all, except for having to talk about it. Like, I don't want one.
Wait, so you're not gonna be in the metaverse?
I'm in Tim's metaverse. Appleverse Pro. That's the new service. It's an ad-free version of the metaverse.
Apple
Nailed it.
Appleverse? Can I hang out with Marco Rubio in the Appleverse?
Of course you can. He made it.
Yeah. That's the funniest thing I've heard in a long time. You got his name wrong. We got to move on. Federico, hit us with your first of 7 flexies.
I'm going to go quickly. I have 7 flexes. First one, Apple stops using the iTunes Store app and moves store content into dedicated apps.
Do you even need it? Like, I mean, most of the stuff is through TV.
Now, if you want to buy a movie on your iPhone or your iPad, you have to use the iTunes Store app.
No, now they have a store tab So here's why I'm picking this. Because they just added...
No, but doesn't it still take you to the app to buy it?
No, you can buy them in line now.
Oh, okay.
So there's a new store section in the TV app. I think we're going to get more store sections in other apps. My only question is, what happens to ringtones?
Yes, I was getting ready to ask, where do ringtones go?
There's a store tab of the phone app.
There's oh my God, yes.
Apple loves putting
Yes.
stores in everything.
Or they just put it in settings, like where you choose the ringtones.
That actually is a pretty good spot.
Or they just stop it. They just stop that. Like, because who's doing that still? Everyone's doing
Maybe.
it. But
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. And I think they will also bring music purchases in the music app instead of the iTunes Store app. So that's my first
I
one.
like that a lot.
Second one. This is a macOS Monterey feature. Doesn't really seem to be picking up any traction.
No.
But I think we're going to get a repeat of what happened to native Safari extensions, which is, the pick is, Apple brings Mail extensions to iOS and iPadOS. Now, this Mail Kit thing exists in Monterey, but it seems to be very limited and with limited developer support. I think there's real potential here to make it a thing on iOS and iPadOS for the built-in Mail app. So, I don't know. It's like, it reminds me of Safari extensions, like, they were not really that popular when they arrived on the Mac. And of course, they have like exploded on the App Store with iOS and iPadOS. So I think the same will, and also it's about time to bring some changes to Mail. Third one, Apple Notes will borrow some features from the modern generation of note-taking apps, like wiki-style links, a quick switcher, or nested pages, like in Craft, basically. So I think Apple will have to copy what the modern note-taking apps are doing, and I think we'll get at least one feature that is either wiki-style links, a quick switcher to quickly move between multiple notes and sections, or the ability to nest pages inside of a note. One of these needs to happen in Apple Notes, I think. Then, okay, this is an easy one. Some Mac-only shortcuts actions will become available on iPhone and iPad. There are some actions that are currently Mac-only. I think some of these will also become available on iPhone and iPad next year, which is this year also. We are in 2022. Number 5, there are new ways to turn off the alerts that shortcuts displays constantly. I mean, like the confirmation banners that you get, like, or, I either mean like the confirmation banners, or I guess if you want to qualify this, I can add some context. Either confirmation banners or the fact that every time an automation runs, you get a notification that the automation runs. Like, even if you disabled ask when run, you still get notified every single time an automation runs that the automation is running, and those notifications they pile up. So either the confirmation banners that you get when you tap on a shortcut on the home screen, or the notification. Number 6, podcasts will gain audio effects for enhanced sound and trim silence. This fun context for this pick. This was my previous Ricky. I eventually settled on the iOS 16 design changes for icons. This was my previous pick. I think Apple will do this in podcasts. So basically do what Overcast is doing, what Castro is doing, a bunch of other podcast clients are doing, because it's a thing that people expect. But also, I am convinced they have been secretly testing this feature in voice memos, of all places. Over the past couple of years, Apple added first enhanced sound as an effect in voice memos, and I think it was last year that they brought trim silence in voice memos. My personal conspiracy theory is that they've been testing this before they roll it out in podcasts.
Couldn't they just test it in an internal build of podcasts? What do you think they're putting podcasts in voice memos?
Well, you test it at scale, right, with voice recordings from people.
Do you think that that's being used to scale?
Voice memos is very popular.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's a very popular app that a ton of folks use
Oh, wait, hang on a second. We went from it is to I think
it's huge. I think people use it all the time.
Really? What do people do with it?
They take notes of themselves.
Oh, meetings, lectures, classes, yeah. Voice memos.
Oh, yeah, okay. That
Tons
makes sense.
and the latest version is actually really good. It's actually really good. Like they got folders, iCloud support, the brand new app on iPad, and it's on the Mac now, I think. It's very good. Voice memos is actually really good. And I think that they have been testing those effects before bringing them to podcasts. That's my theory. I mean, it would be a shame if they don't.
That makes sense.
And finally, Apple adds more filters to smart folders in Notes. So another Notes pick.
Was this worth a 7?
Yes, because I'm really because I am upset. I am officially I want to put it on record. I am upset because the smart folders in Notes, they are completely different from smart lists in Reminders. In the same year.
And they need to do better for smart lists and reminders. That feature sucks.
And they need to do better there, but at least in Reminders, you can pick and choose multiple filtering criteria. In Notes, a smart folder is a folder based on a tag.
You can only do certain things, though, right? Like you can't.
Yeah.
In Reminders, you can't pick multiples of the same things. I know I wanted to do something with it, and I couldn't do it, and I was really upset about it. That could be better for sure.
That's my 7 fun flexes. I think they are fun flexes, so we'll see how this goes.
Well, those are our picks for 2022. You can review them at any point in the year at rickies.co. There'll be a link in the show notes, of course.
And rickies.net as well.
May the best commentator win. If you want to find links to the few things we spoke about and to last year's scoring, head on over to our website at relay.fm/connected/379. While you're there, you can join Connected Pro, which is a longer ad-free version of the show each and every week. Every Relay membership also comes with a newsletter, access to our Discord, and a whole lot more. So go check that out. You can find us all online. You can find Mike on Twitter at IMYKE. You can find Federico on Twitter at Viticci, Viticci, and you can find me there as ISMH. And until next week, guys, say goodbye.
Arrivederci.
Cheerio.
Bye, y'all.
We didn't do the closing ceremonies.